Good day everyone, today we're going to embark on a fascinating journey into the realms of folk and popular culture. These two forms of cultural expression shape our identities, influence our beliefs, and reflect the ever-changing tapestry of human society. So, without further ado, let's dive into exploration of folk and popular culture. Folk culture and popular culture are two fundamental aspects of human expression that have existed throughout history. Folk culture encompasses the traditions, customs, and beliefs passed down orally from generation to generation within specific communities or groups. In contrast, popular culture refers to the mainstream cultural products and practices that are widely consumed and influenced by mass media, technology, and globalization. Studying both forms of culture is essential for understanding and diversity and dynamics of human society. Characteristics of folk culture are like its traditional nature, rootedness in local customs and beliefs, and oral transmission from one generation to the next. Unlike popular culture, which is often mass-produced and consumed, folk culture is deeply tied to the identity and heritage of specific communities. It reflects the values, rituals, and worldwide of these communities, serving as a living testament to their history and collective memory. Examples of folk culture abound across the globe, encompassing a wide range of artistic, social, and religious practices. Folk music, for instance, is a powerful expression of cultural identity, often featuring traditional instruments and melodies passed down through generations. Folk tales and legends such as myths and fables provide insight into a community's worldview and moral values. Similarly, traditional dances, handicrafts, and art forms offer glimpses into the rich tapestry of folk culture. Let's take a closer look at one of the most enduring expressions of folk culture, music. Folk music has its origins in the oral traditions of communities around the world, serving as a means of storytelling, celebration, and cultural preservation. From the ballads of Appalachia to the songs of the Maori people of New Zealand, folk music reflects the diversity of human experience and the resilience of local traditions. Despite the challenges posed by modernization and globalization, efforts to preserve and revitalize folk music continue to strive, ensuring that future generations can connect with the cultural heritage. Popular culture, unlike folk culture, is characterized by its mass appeal, constant change, and influenced by mass media and technology. It encompasses a wide range of cultural products and practices, including music, film, television, fashion, and social media. Popular culture reflects the tastes, trends, and values of contemporary society, shaping our collective imagination and defining what's considered cool, trendy, or in. Cultural examples of popular culture are ubiquitous in our daily lives, permeating every aspect of society, from the latest chart-topping hits to blockbuster films and binge-worthy TV shows. Popular culture entertains, informs, and inspires us. Fashion trends driven by celebrities and influencers dictate our clothing choices and reflect societal norms and values. Similarly, social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube shape our interactions, communication styles, and self-expression in the digital age. In our exploration of popular culture, it's essential to delve into the realms of film and television. These mediums have an immense effect on society, shaping our perceptions, influencing trends, and reflecting in collective consciousness of our time. Firstly, let's consider the impact of film and television on society. These mediums have the power to shape cultural norms, influence public opinion, and even drive social change. For example, groundbreaking films and TV shows have sparked important conversations about race, gender, and identity, challenging viewers to confront their biases and prejudices. Furthermore, the globalization of popular culture is evident in widespread dissemination of films and TV shows across borders. Hollywood blockbusters and streaming platforms like Netflix have made it possible for people around the world to access the same content, leading to a homogenization of cultural preferences and tastes. However, it's crucial to acknowledge the concept of cultural hegemony within the realm of film and television. Western media dominance, particularly in Hollywood, has led to the marginalization of diverse voices and narratives. This dominance perpetuates stereotypes and reinforces power imbalances, limiting the representation of minority cultures and perspectives. Now, let's explore the intricate intersections between folk and popular culture. While these two forms of cultural expression may seem distinct, they often intertwine and influence each other in unexpected ways. One notable phenomenon is the hybridization and fusion of folk and popular culture. We see this in music genres like folk rock or pop-infused traditional songs, where traditional elements are blended with contemporary styles to create something entirely new. This process of cultural fusion reflects the dynamic nature of cultural expression and the constant evaluation of our shared cultural landscape. However, we must also consider the darker side of these intersections, namely cultural appropriation and commodification. When elements of folk culture are appropriated and commercialized without proper acknowledgement or respect for their origins, it diminishes the authenticity and significance of those cultural practices. It's essential to be mindful of the power dynamics at play and strive for ethical engagement with cultural heritage. Despite these challenges, the influence of folk culture on popular culture and vice versa is undeniable. From fashion trends inspired by traditional textiles to blockbuster films featuring folklore-inspired narratives, folk culture continues to leave its mark on the mainstream. Conversely, popular culture can also breathe new life into traditional practices, providing opportunities for revitalization and reinterpretation. In today's digital era, technology plays a significant role in shaping both folk and popular culture. Let's explore how digital platforms and the internet have transformed the way we engage with cultural traditions and trends. One positive effect of technology is its ability to preserve and disseminate folk traditions. Online platforms such as digital archives and social media provide opportunities for communities to share their cultural heritage with a global audience. This accessibility helps to safeguard traditional practices from being lost or forgotten over time. Additionally, the internet has facilitated the rapid spread of popular culture across borders and continents. Social media, streaming platforms, and viral trends have created new channels for cultural exchange, allowing ideas and trends to transcend geographical boundaries. However, this global connectivity also raises questions about cultural homogenization and the preservation of local identity. Of course, along with its benefits, technology also presents challenges to cultural preservation and authenticity. The digitalization of cultural artifacts raises questions about ownership, copyright, and the protection of intellectual property. Furthermore, the speed at which information spreads online can lead to the distortion or misrepresentation of cultural practices. As we navigate these challenges, it's crucial to adopt ethical and inclusive approach to digital culture that respect the diversity and integrity of all communities. As we have delved into the realms of folk and popular culture, we encounter a fundamental tension between the preservation of traditional and the forces of cultural evolution. This tension is evident in the delicate balance between cultural preservation and cultural adaptation, between safeguarding heritage and embracing change. On one hand, cultural preservation is essential for maintaining the integrity, identity, and continuity of folk traditions. It involves efforts to safeguard traditional knowledge, practices, and artifacts from the erosive forces of modernization, globalization, and cultural homogenization. By preserving cultural heritage, communities can maintain a sense of connection to their past, strengthen social cohesion, and affirm their collective identity. However, cultural preservation is not synonymous with cultural stagnation. Cultures are living dynamic systems that evolve and adapt over time in response to changing social, economic, and environmental conditions. Therefore, cultural evolution is an inherent and necessary aspect of cultural resilience and vitality. It involves the creative reinterpretation and innovation of traditional practices, the integration of external influences, and the negotiation of cultural identity in a rapidly changing world. Finding the right balance between preservation and evolution is a complex and ongoing challenge for communities around the world. It requires thoughtful consideration of the values, priorities, and aspirations of community members, as well as the recognition of the interconnectedness of local and global forces shaping cultural dynamics. Ultimately, cultural sustainability lies in embracing both the past and the future, honoring tradition while embracing change and fostering a sense of continuity and resilience in the face of uncertainty. By navigating this tension with wisdom, creativity, and respect for diversity, communities can ensure that their cultural heritage remains vibrant, relevant, and meaningful for generations to come. As we delve deeper into the complexities of folk and popular culture, one of the most pressing ethical issues we encountered is that of cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation occurs when elements of marginalized culture are adopted, often without proper understanding or respect by members of the dominant culture. This process often leads to the commodification and misrepresentation of cultural symbols, eroding the authenticity and integrity of the original cultural practices. At the heart of cultural appropriation is the power dynamic between dominant and marginalized cultures. When members of a dominant culture appropriate elements of a marginalized culture, they often do so without acknowledging the historical context of oppression, exploitation, and cultural theft that underpins their actions. This perpetuates harmful stereotypes, reinforces power imbalances, and further marginalizes already disenfranchised communities. Furthermore, cultural appropriation often results in the commercialization and commodification of cultural symbols, reducing them to mere fashion trends or marketing gimmicks. This erases the cultural significances and meaning of these symbols, turning them into empty signifiers devoid of their original context and significance. Therefore, it's essential for individuals and communities to approach cultural exchange with humility, respect, and a commitment to amplifying marginalized voices. Rather than appropriating cultural symbols for personal gain or aesthetic appeal, we should strive to engage in meaningful dialogue with cultural stakeholders, learn from their experiences, and advocate for their rights and dignity. Moreover, it's crucial to recognize the importance of cultural authenticity in preserving the integrity and vitality of folk traditions. Authenticity is not simply about adhering to rigid notions of tradition or purity, but rather about respecting the origins, meanings, and values embedded within cultural practices. It involves centering the voices and experiences of cultural insiders, acknowledging their agency and authority in representing their own culture. By interrogating our own biases, challenging dominant narratives, and amplifying marginalized voices, we can work towards creating a more equitable and inclusive cultural landscape. This requires ongoing education, dialogue, and reflection on the complexities of power, privilege, and identity in cultural exchange. Only through collective action and solidarity we can build a world where all cultures are respected, valued, and celebrated for their unique contributions to the tapestry of human experience. Now, we can talk about cultural appropriation in fashion, because fashion, as a form of cultural expression, is particularly susceptible to issues of cultural appropriation. From indigenous designs to traditional textiles and symbols, fashion trends often draw inspiration from diverse cultures without proper acknowledgement or respect for their origins. This cultural appropriation not only undermines the integrity of cultural heritage, but also perpetuates stereotypes and erases the contribution of marginalized communities. As consumers and creators of fashion, we have a responsibility to interrogate the sources of our inspiration, engage in meaningful dialogue with cultural stakeholders, and advocate for ethical and inclusive practices in the industry. Representation matters. In the realm of folk and popular culture, diverse representation is not only a matter of social justice, but also a catalyst for positive change. When marginalized voices and experiences are authentically represented in media, art, and entertainment, it challenges stereotypes, fosters empathy, and promotes social cohesion. However, achieving meaningful representation requires deliberate efforts to dismantle systematic barriers, amplify underrepresented voices, and create inclusive spaces where all individuals can see themselves reflected and celebrated. Cultural sustainability refers to the ability of cultures to maintain their integrity, vitality, and diversity over time. In the face of globalization, technological advancement, and shifting societal norms, preserving cultural heritage requires innovative approaches that balance tradition with adaptation. Strategies for cultural sustainability may include community-based initiatives, intergenerational knowledge sharing, and partnerships between cultural institutions and grassroots organizations. By fostering a sense of pride, ownership, and stewardship among community members, we can ensure that cultural traditions continue to thrive and evolve in response to changing circumstances. One inspiring example of cultural sustainability is the indigenous cultural revival movement. In the face of centuries of colonization, dispossession, and cultural assimilation, indigenous communities around the world are reclaiming and revitalizing their cultural heritage. Through language revitalization efforts, land-based education programs, and cultural revitalization initiatives, indigenous peoples are reconnecting with their ancestral traditions, asserting their rights to self-determination, and challenging colonial narratives of erasure and extinction. Their resilience, creativity, and determination serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of cultural autonomy and sovereignty in the face of cultural imperialism. At the heart of our exploration of folk and popular culture is the concept of cultural exchange and dialogue. Cultural exchange fosters understanding, appreciation, and mutual respect between diverse communities, transcending boundaries of language, geography, and ideology. However, meaningful cultural exchange requires more than surface-level engagement. It necessitates active listening, humility, and the willingness to confront our own biases and assumptions. By engaging in respectful dialogue with cultural stakeholders, we can build bridges of understanding and solidarity that transcends difference and celebrate our shared humanity. As we wrap up our exploration of folk and popular culture, it's important to reflect on the key insights we have gained and implications for our understanding of human society. Throughout our journey, we have delved into the rich tapestry of human creativity, resilience, and diversity that is reflected in both folk and popular culture. We have seen how folk culture, with its deep roots in traditional and community, serves as a testament to the identity and heritage of specific groups. Similarly, we have explored the dynamic nature of popular culture, shaped by mass media, technology, and globalization, and its profound impact on societal norms and values. Our discussion has highlighted the intricate intersections between these two forms of cultural expressions, from the hybridization of traditional folk elements with contemporary trends to the changes of cultural appropriation and commodification. We have grappled with ethical considerations such as the preservation of cultural authenticity, the power of representation, and imperative of cultural sustainability. As we navigate these complexities, it's essential to approach cultural exchange and dialogue with humility, respect, and commitment to amplifying marginalized voices. By fostering understanding, appreciation, and mutual respect between diverse communities, we can build bridges of solidarity that transcend difference and celebrate our shared humanity. In conclusion, our exploration of folk and popular culture underscores the importance of cultural diversity, empathy, and inclusivity in shaping a more equitable and harmonious world. As we continue on our respective journeys, let us carry forward the lesson learned and strive to create spaces where all voices are heard, valued, and celebrated. And of course, thank you for joining me on this enlightening journey, and I look forward to the continued exploration of culture and society together.